Hello, this vlog is about Impact Investing News, April 15th. I describe the content of my blog. The blog is in Dutch, but a lot of the articles and publications I review are in English. So with this vlog, I'm trying to open up the content, especially when they are English publications by Dutch organizations. You might otherwise have missed those. I will start with impact proof, performance results other than financial, which is an impact report about an investment by the Nobel Foundation, which is a Dutch impact investing pioneer. They have an interest in using technology for health, and they invested in e-health software, whereby chronic patients, monitor their own health, sending data to their doctors, who can then monitor to see what's going on. And it is found that using this system helps patients control their situation better, and doctors prevent medical emergencies with possible damage. So obviously this system is successful and it saves money. Because it's considered an impact investment, the researchers also looked into the possibility of using this system in underserved communities, regions with low population density, where healthcare is always, of course, a challenge. And the researchers also came up with special health metrics for IRIS, the integrated reporting system for impact investing. Now, these researchers were Professor Harry Hummels, who is considered Mr. Impact Investing in the Netherlands, and Alexander Röntgen, both from Maastricht University. It's actually their second proof impact report. They also looked into an investment by Stichting Doen, which is sort of the charity for a large Dutch lottery organization, set up to raise funds for charities, by the way. Some news from Dutch banks, which is not too interesting, apart from a report about ABN Bank, one of our larger banks. It was analyzed by True Price, which is a research bureau analyzing profit and loss for corporations or projects. They looked into the bank as a whole, their mortgage portfolio, and its role in the cocoa chain. The company looks at intellectual capital, human capital, social capital, natural capital, manufactured capital. Very good infographics, reports in English, you can read it. Mortgage portfolio can be made more sustainable and more profitable for society as a whole when the bank starts to stimulate sustainable building and renovating, green mortgages. The cocoa chain, of course, is quite a challenge because of the child slavery problem. Fortune magazine wrote a really interesting dossier about that March 1st. There's millions of children working in the cocoa production in Africa. Governments are trying to do their best with legislation. Multinationals buying the chocolate are doing a lot, reaching 10, sometimes even 100,000 children, but we're talking millions of children in the chocolate production. So it is quite a challenge. Harry Hummels, whom I mentioned before, has now been appointed professor for social enterprises also in Utrecht University. And one of his projects is going to be a study of the cocoa chain, and that is also supported by Tony Chocoloni, which is a Dutch social enterprise who was set up to prove that you can actually make child labor-free chocolate. In the green bond market, we saw Friesland Campina, which is a huge dairy company in Holland, cooperative actually. They issued a Schuldschein, which is sort of a bond light, a fast, cheaper bond in Germany, which was oversubscribed, only gives 0.5% interest, not too interesting for small investors. Friesland Campina is an impact investment because not only do they produce dairy products, they moved forward in their sustainability process rapidly over the last years, working with best-in-class multinationals, and they have projects in developing countries helping local farmers to produce more dairy with the cattle that they have. with better capital, of course. There was an interesting report stating that China will actually have 46 billion US dollars in green bonds this year, which proves that China is working very fast towards the green energy transition. 46 is the amount of green bonds that were issued in 2015 as a whole, so it is quite a remarkable number. Moody's, the index builder, is setting up its own green verification service. Green bonds, many of the green bonds that are listed right now do not have that because they are issued by World Bank and European Investment Bank and they don't really need it. But especially when they are corporation green bonds, it is important that they have external verification, usually by an ESG research bureau, but now Moody's is setting up its own verification service. So that's an interesting thing. And the London Stock Exchange partnered with the Climate Bonds Initiative, which is monitoring the whole green bond market. They have hosted a couple of events and are very supportive of this movement. London Stock Exchange also saw another charity bond being issued for the Charities Aid Foundation, which is like a bank for charities. They would have been happy with 10 million, they got 20 million and they could close early. So that was a big success as well. I also saw on LinkedIn that Spanish Regional Development Bank actually issued a 500 million bond for micro and small medium-sized sustainable enterprises. And this is actually the second bond. They have a billion euro bond released 2 years ago. They are short-term bonds, only 2 years. What I noted in the 1 billion bond was that there were many foreign investors, American and Asian investors investing in Spanish SMEs. So that struck me, but I'm hardly a specialist on that market. Big Society Capital in the UK launched a report on the size and characteristics of the social investment market. Big Society Capital was of course set up by the government to stimulate this market. The Boston Consulting Group expected the market to be 1 billion in 2016. This report actually shows it's 1.5 billion. They say their definition is that impact has to be intended by both investor and investee. So it's a narrow definition because if you were to add social housing, you would get like 80 billion. They say that lending, of course, still rules, but that risk capital is actually moving forward pretty fast. So lots of innovation in the social investment market. And I read the article Franz Siegel wrote about the upscaling of the impact investing market, the critical factors. I was intrigued by the fact that she says there's lots of interconnections being made in the impact investing ecosystem. And she didn't mention any examples, but because of course I see a lot of news things happening, I added a couple of examples in my all-American examples in my blog. And I think that's it. I saw a lot of jobs with Wire Group, a Dutch top impact investing agency looking for a deal flow analyst. Our Dutch Development Bank also considered an impact investing top player, has vacancies. And in the US, Instiglio, which is a spin-off of the Harvard Social Impact Bond Lab, is looking for people. And I saw Koshla, an impact investor, linking to their portfolios, but also linking to the vacancy system of LinkedIn. So if you're looking for a job in impact investing, Koshla offers you the opportunity to be, get an email about vacancies in one of their portfolio companies. In interesting articles in the Stanford Social Innovation Review, because it's going to take another 750 years to develop a medication for all the now known diseases we have, there's always the possibility of testing existing medicine for positive side effects, i.e. they might cure a disease we didn't actually expect because it was not the kind of research that we did to develop this drug. And social impact bonds might be a way to finance testing existing medication for other usage and other patient groups. So that was an interesting one. I mean, once a medicine is successful, of course, profit is around the corner. And another article about the theory of foundations, written by the Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisor, which is actually an impact investing pioneer. And of course, one of their pillars in the theory of foundations is impact investing, both in asset management and expenditure. And I will end with a quote by Fran Siegel in her piece Impact Investing, What Will It Take to Get to Scale? The great news is that the impact investing ecosystem is connected. For each change made by one set of actors, there is a compounding effect across the entire stage. Such change is afoot. So, a very optimistic message to end with. Thank you for watching. I hope you find the articles in the blog interesting, and hope to see you next time.